Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. I am happy and excited to talk to you today about launching your business. And we're going to talk about it a little bit different than we have in the past. We've talked about what to do to basically get started and the steps involved, but this is a different conversation. This is about an all-out massive action of launching. And normally this doesn't come up in conversation and in training for network marketing because it's something that happens once in a lifetime. It's something that happens as a company launches or as a leader comes into a company. They do it quietly behind the scenes, but it's something that we've been wanting to bring to Activz to add a layer to this company that makes it stand out for a long time. We have a business partner who he and his wife and Eric and I have spent countless hours deep into the night, deep into the morning, several times talking about how incredible it would be if we could figure out a way to make a perpetual, ongoing personal pre-launch option for everybody who came into Activz. Normally, like I said, it only happens when a company is opening, or it happens when somebody understands the power of that, has done network marketing before and comes in and requests it as part of their startup. So it's something that is kind of a secret hidden for the people that have gone to the top of companies. So it's not going to make sense for everybody in your business. Not everybody's going to get it. You have to have excitement. You have to have passion. You have to have drive. This should be keeping you up at night when you're building it because you understand what you have your hands on. Let me tell you a little story. We helped launch a company about 17 years ago. And my husband and I were sitting with some leaders and we were all just bringing in people and talking to people and doing what we all do, right? Just going through the motions of the everyday bringing in your team. And Eric and I walked away from that and he's like, this is too slow. We got to do it bigger. We got to do it bigger. So at that point we had paper applications. This was back in the day before identity theft and people would actually give you their social security number on a piece of paper. We had paper applications and our enroller had given us one and said, go fill it out. And all the people that he had given them to had done just that. And Eric looked at me and he goes, we got to go to Kinko's. Do you remember Kinko's? And we went to Kinko's and made 100 copies. And I think ultimately we went back and made hundreds more. But he said, okay, so we're going to take 10 of these and we're going to go sign up 10 people. And then we're going to give them each 10. I said, okay, we don't have enough. So we went back and we made more because we needed 10 to give to each to those 10. So we needed at least 110 right from the beginning. And we needed more as we went along. And we took that 45-day period. I can't remember exactly how long it was. Like I said, it was 17 years ago. But we went and we got people who wanted out of their jobs, who wanted to make something of this business, that wanted to make more than, a few $100s a month. They really saw the vision in this and they were willing to run with us. And not everybody that we signed up went and got 10, but most of them did. Because when you're just getting an application from somebody and you're not having any money change hands, it's really easy to bring people in. We were bringing in 4 or 5 a day. It's a different process. And of course, there's money that changes hands. It's not a scheme that's going to just put everybody in and everybody's going to be rich overnight. You don't have to do anything or spend anything. That is not what I'm talking about. But they saw the value of this and they knew that their credit cards were going to run on a certain date. And they knew they had until that date to just put as much in front of it as they could. And we actually went to a leadership training about 2 weeks later where our upline had brought the leaders together and just was talking about this company and how it was forming and what was going on. And at the very end of it, Eric pulled aside one of the leaders and said, can I just have 5 minutes? And he got up on stage and mentioned what he was doing, what we were doing, and how we were looking at it differently. And he said, if we can bring in 10 who can bring in 10, now you're launching your business with 100 people, but take it bigger. We have 45 days. What if those 100 got 10? Now you've got 1,000 people at your launch. And that's what happened that day in that room. Those 100 people or those 70 people or however many were there got it. And they understood it. And they went and they got their 10 and then they got their 10 to get 10. And we launched that company. And literally within the first year, we broke all the records in network marketing. We were the fastest launching company, the fastest, biggest checks paid in the first year. Eric and I hit the top of the company in 18 months. And we had people right on our heels. Unfortunately, that was the month we found out that the CEO was being indicted by the Attorney General. So that company, as we knew it, is no longer around. It actually still lives, but the products are different. The compensation plan's different. The only thing around is the name. So it wasn't a long-term play for us, but it was a good teaching moment that we realized that when you launch correctly, it spurs you on to the top of the company. And it literally presents a place where you can, in a short period of time, a matter of a few weeks, you can gather your people that will lead to your leaders and lead to the people that will run all the way to the top with you. So that being said, we wanted to be able to make this available to everybody who wanted it. It's not going to be something that you put on everybody that comes in, because some people just don't have the vision. They don't have the excitement. They don't have the drive. And so for them to go out and sign up 10 people in a couple of days, they just don't have it in them. They're still thinking old school. They're still thinking, it's going to take me 6 months to do that. No, it can take just a few days. There's no money on the line. So this is their chance. Now, to give you the underside of that story, Eric and I had just sold our house. And we had to take out a personal loan at the bank for, I think it was $5,000 or $6,000 just to sell our house, because we were upside down in it. And to get out of the house, we had to pay. I've never seen or heard of that before, but we had to pay to sell our house. And so that literally put us behind. We didn't have any savings. We were at a point, I can't remember what was happening with our traditional business, but something had happened. And we were in between network marketing, and we didn't have any income. We didn't have any money to get into a rental. We didn't have the first month, last month. We didn't have all of the things that they needed even to get into something we could rent. So we ended up homeless. A friend of mine heard, an older couple, and they took us in and put us in a back bedroom of their home. All 6 of us, we put our stuff in storage and moved in for what we thought was going to be a few weeks, and it actually turned into over 90 days. It was an interesting period of our lives. But during that 90 days, we were launching this business. We were literally seeing this as our way out. So if somebody had looked at us and prejudged us, we were business owners. We seemed to have our life together on the outside, but underneath, our life was turmoil. So we were perfect candidates to bring in. We also saw this as a chance to turn everything around. So we ran like our lives depended on it during that period of time. And we brought in hundreds of applications. So when those ran on the predetermined date and the company launched, we got a check for thousands and thousands of dollars. Eric and I can't remember. It's somewhere between $12,000 and $17,000 is what we're both kind of remembering, but we can't remember exactly. But it literally changed our life. It got us into a new place. It got us back on our feet. Yes, we were still renting, trying to figure things out where we were going, but we had hope again. We had money in our bank account, and we had a business that was off and running, and it never looked back. So that's what we want to create for you. So don't prejudge if somebody that you're looking at looks successful. Don't prejudge if somebody you're looking at looks like they have everything going on, because what's going on underneath the surface might be a completely different story. And don't prejudge if somebody looks like they're too busy. We've built businesses when Eric was gone 17 hours a day, and I was up to my eyeballs in kids and home and all of the home duties. Because Eric was gone, I was managing his business, I was running his schedules, I was calling all the clients, I was doing all the billing, I was managing the employees. I was busy, but somebody thought enough of us to talk to us. So don't prejudge. If you can find a busy business owner that gets this, that's exactly the kind of person that you want to work with, because they get running a business. If you can find somebody that's sick and tired of their corporate job, that's the kind of person you want to work with. If you can find a little stay-at-home mom that is really looking for a side hustle that can genuinely put money on the table for her family, that's the right kind of person. My point is, you can't tell by looking on the outside, but if you talk to enough people in that short period of time when you're pre-launching, you will find your leadership and you'll find the people that you want to be in business with. Okay, so how do we run our pre-launch? So I'm going to share screen with you for just a minute here. So what we're teaching people is look at the date today. So today is the 15th, this Good Friday Passover. Happy Good Friday, everybody, and Passover date yesterday. Well, that's yesterday. Sorry, today's the 16th. It's not showing on my screen. That's why. There we go. Okay, so yesterday was Good Friday. We are in the Passover weekend. It's my favorite weekend of the year. So happy Easter, everyone. On the 16th, so what we teach people is count down 3 weeks. So 1, 2, 3 puts us at the 7th of May. So I'm going to move forward to May. So we're on the 7th of May. And then we teach you to go forward until you get to either the 15th or the 30th. So in this case, it would be the 15th is the next date that you come to. So if you were launching today, your launch date would be the 15th of May. And that would be the date that you would put on your applications when you bring anybody in or they bring anybody in. Now, if you have somebody that you've brought in and they come in, say on the 11th, their launch date for their people, so their application is going to process on the 15th because you're signing them up. Let's say you're signing up John. John's going to sign up on the 15th when all of your other applications run. John's will run. But John, for his people, when he starts bringing people in, his launch date is 1, 2, 3, June 1st. So the next date is going to be June 15th. So he signs up on the 11th. His launch date is going to be June 15th. So he has over a month to put as many applications in front of this as he would like if he chooses to do so. Okay, let's go just a little bit different direction. And I want to show you how that's actually done if you're doing it digitally, because we live in a world now where people are a little bit leery of putting their credit card, their social security number, their signature, their address, everything on one piece of paper and handing it to somebody that they may or may not know well. Even if they know you well, they might be leery of giving you all that on a piece of paper. So mentally in your head, it's, I'm going to fill out these 10 applications today, or I'm going to fill out these 10 applications by Wednesday, or set your goals. It doesn't need to be old school. It doesn't need to be give yourself 6 months to do this. It's give yourself a few days to round up 10 people who are ready for a change. And they don't have to have any money right now. They don't have to have any money until the 15th, which is your launch date. So, they're going to go through the process of application. It's going to get to the screen where it verifies their name and address. Yes, that's correct. Hit next. The next screen shows the products that they purchased. Before you hit next, have them scroll down and you'll see this credit and debit card bar. That is a secret drop down. You can tell that because there's a little black drop down arrow on the right hand side. And when you click on that, it opens up a couple of options where you can select your payment. Well, we're going to now switch it off the default of credit debit card, and we're going to switch it to payment pending. That puts them into your pre-launch system. So if they want products tomorrow because they're sick and mom and dad have issues and they really want to try the products, let them go through the regular process. That's fine. They're still going to count within this period of launch for you. But I love the option that people can put off their payment if they need to, if they want to. If they're getting paid the end of the month, then they have the money when it comes due on the 15th of next month. They have time to gather up that money. So the payment pending is going to take them straight to where it will generate an ID number. So now they're fully in the business. They haven't spent a dime. They haven't spent for their activation kit. They haven't spent for their products yet. All of that's in the system, but it's holding under their number. They have an ID number that generates them a back office, it generates them the app, it gives them everything they need to be off and running to build their business, but they haven't spent a dime yet. So I love it because yes, there are going to be some people, there are going to be a small percentage of people that when it comes close to the 15th, they might call you and go, you know what, this just isn't for me. And I don't like that response. And usually I will talk to them further because they're giving up on their dreams. It doesn't hurt me. Ultimately, it hurts them because they are giving up on their dreams. They're giving up on their health. They're giving up on all the benefits that could have come before they even give it a try. So usually I'll talk to them and say, look, you've got a 90-day money back guarantee on the products. You haven't really talked to anybody yet, so you haven't got anything to quit from. We haven't processed this to where you've run your credit card. We can call them and just turn it off and it'll never run. No harm, no foul. If you really don't want to do this, I'd rather know up front, because I don't want to be pushing anybody. So if they're not ever going to do anything, I'd rather know before they put any money on the line. So it really is a blessing if they tell you up front. I'll try and talk them out of it and try and steer them back in. But if they really don't want to do it, I would rather know up front. But that's going to be a really small percentage, if anybody. Most of the people are going to run on clockwork when it runs, and they're going to get their products, and then they're going to be even more excited because they get a check the next week, because they've been talking to people too. Now you get a check, they get a check, they get their products. You talk about on fire. It's going to take the mindset off of, I'm going to try the products and see what it will do for me. Guys, we know the science. We know it's working on the DNA of every single person's cell, lowering oxidative stress, lowering inflammation. You don't have to test the products to know they're going to work. How they're going to work is the difference for everybody. But really, are you in an anomaly where it's not going to work just on you, but it works on everybody else? That's scientifically unlikely. So we want people focusing on building and getting people into this that have dreams, have desires. Basically, within 24 hours after hitting that pending, they're going to get an email from corporate, and it's going to contain a form. This is the beginning of it. It's a little bit longer than this, but it asks for their ID number. So help them write it down when they get it on that final screen. They're going to need their ID number, and they're going to need to know the date to put for their run date. It says date to run credit card. That's the launch date. So 3 weeks down, and then find the 15th through the 30th, whichever comes next. So in this case, you'd be telling them May 30th is the run date. So, or 15th, sorry, May 15th. So 5/15 would be their run date. And then they just fill out their name, and below it's going to ask for their credit card. It's going to ask for the CVV code and all the different things that need to go in, because they didn't fill out that screen when they were applying. And this goes through form site. It's very secure and goes back to corporate. So now corporate knows on the 15th, we're going to run this batch of hundreds of applications all at the same time. And then the next Friday, those checks are going to run. This accomplishes several things. It creates huge momentum in your business. It helps you sift and sort to find your leaders fast, so that you are running faster with those people. If you're going to do this, if you're going to go to the top of the company, why drag it out for years? Why not do it fast? And if you can find your leaders that are going to run alongside you, now you've got a leader running in each leg. Next month, you're rank advancing. The next month, you're rank advancing. And the next month, you're rank advancing. And they are too. And it's exciting because you just go to the top together. And it becomes a really fun process. So that's one thing that happens. The other thing that happens is you create your story. You only get one shot at creating your launch story in a company. So you're going to create a big check, and you're going to create a big rank when that hits on that 15th or the 30th, whenever your launch is. So don't waste this. And if you've been in for a little while, it's okay. You can draw a line in the sand and relaunch. And do this launch if you want to do it. But I want you to know about it for yourself. I want you to know about it for your people, because with this process, we've actually been able to figure it out where it can be a perpetual program that goes on and on and on, and allows launches for everybody that comes in. So think about this 30 days from now, or 60 or 90 days from now, if you have one person in each leg launching, all of a sudden on the 15th, you have this huge burst of volume. And then they each have people that are launching. And so the next 15th to the next 30th, boom, big volume. Next 15th, big volume. Next 30th, big volume. And you get this going. They're winning. You're winning. Everybody's winning. Our goal is to have the most people at the top of a company, of any company out there. That's been our goal and our vision from the very beginning. And I think this is the way that it's going to happen. We've been trying to figure this out since early 2020. And I'm so grateful that finally now here we are, 2022, unrolling this program. Have a wonderful day. If you've got questions, we're working feverishly to get information up on activz.info. At the very top of that site, you'll see a bar that says how to get involved. And when you click on that, it takes you to some options. It takes you to the pre-launch. And it says, click here for more information. You can click on that and you can see other videos on how to pre-launch. And we'll be adding to that constantly and getting that filled out. There's also information on going to just be a basic regular distributor, which is the same regular that everybody's already been doing, plugging away, and it'll happen slow and steady, but this is a shortcut. This is a way to get to the top faster with more momentum and a lot more fun. It's a lot more fun when people are getting checks every couple of weeks that are big, big checks, and their business is growing and their rank is growing. So this is just kind of a fun sideline. There's also a link for people that just want to be customers. Guys, we don't take any of those leads. They all go directly to activz.com. They have to have your ID number when they enroll through there. So don't feel any worry about that. But there is a link there to learn more about the pre-launch. So I want you to know where it's at. So we're working on it. We're trying to get all of this up so that you know how to do it. But the launch is currently underway. We have people already using it. You can use it if and when you're ready and take your business to the next level. Thanks for being with us today. We're going to wrap up our training pod and let you get back to your Saturday. Have a really wonderful holiday weekend, and then let's hit the ground running on Monday. Have a great, great day, everybody.